All right, let's talk about something so many of us have struggled with. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by all the crazy diet plans and conflicting advice out there on weight loss, trust me, you are not alone. What if getting started was actually way simpler than we've been led to believe, isn't it? We all start out with so much energy and motivation, but then somewhere down the line, it just kind of falls apart. Well, here's the good news. According to Dr. Willie Ong, the solution isn't some huge, complicated secret at all. He says it's really just about a series of small, smart, and totally manageable choices. So today, we're going to break down his super straightforward guide to getting started on the right foot. Okay, first things first. Before we even get into the food, we have to talk about what's going on up here, in your head. Because according to Dr. Ong, this whole battle is pretty much won or lost in our minds before we even take a single bite. And this quote right here, this is the core of his whole philosophy. Real lasting success comes from a combination of two key ingredients. You need the willpower to stick with it, for sure, but you also need the right knowledge to make good choices. And that's what we're here for, to give you that knowledge. Okay, most powerful tool you have at every single meal, and that's your plate. Check this out. This is an incredibly simple but seriously powerful first step. Just swap out your big 11-inch dinner plate for a smaller 9-inch one. It's a little visual trick that has a massive impact on your portions, and you don't even have to think about it. It's huge. Just by switching to a smaller plate, you can automatically cut how much food you eat by about 15 to 20%. So what do we actually put on that new smaller plate? The rule of thumb is super simple. Fill half of it. Yep, a full 50% with healthy vegetables. They're low-cal, packed with nutrients, and they really help you feel full. And what about that afternoon slump? You know, when the hunger pangs hit and you're tempted to grab a bag of chips? Always have healthy, easy snacks ready to go. A banana or an apple can be a total game changer, satisfying that hunger and keeping you on track. It starts the minute you walk into the grocery store. Making the right choices in the aisles is what really sets you up for success back at home. So when you're looking at food labels, don't let all the marketing jargon distract you. Just zoom in on two key numbers, the calories and the serving size. A good target to shoot for is a meal that's somewhere in the ballpark of 300 to 400 calories. Let's look at some of these smart swaps in action. Here's a classic one. Always go for tuna packed in water instead of oil. It's such an easy switch, and it cuts out a whole lot of unnecessary fat and calories, choosing wheat bread over things like pastries and cakes. That fiber in the wheat bread is going to help you feel a lot fuller, and it helps with digestion. Pastries, on the other hand, well, they're usually just loaded with butter, sugar, and fat. All right, now listen up, because we've arrived at what Dr. Ong says is his single most important piece of advice. Seriously, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this next part. He really emphasizes that there's one category of stuff that can completely, single-handedly sabotage all of your hard work. And a lot of the time, we don't even realize just how much damage it's doing. And here they are, sugary drinks. We're talking about sodas, those bottled iced teas, and yeah, even a lot of so-called healthy fruit juices. They are just packed with empty calories and sugar, and simply cutting them out can make a massive... Let's just break down what's actually inside a single glass of soda. What are you really drinking? The answer is pretty shocking. It's about seven teaspoons of white sugar. That's like scooping sugar straight from the bowl into your mouth. Cutting this one thing out is probably one of the fastest ways to slash your daily calorie and sugar intake. Okay, so let's bring it all home. But how do we make them stick for the long haul? Because amazing results don't come from a quick fix. They come from building habits that last. Dr. Ong suggests a really simple two-part system. First, control your environment. Just don't bring junk food into your house. It's about removing the temptation altogether. Keep an eye on your progress. Hopping on the scale every couple of days keeps you accountable and helps you see what's working. And that's really the big takeaway here. This isn't about some miserable short-term diet. It's about building a whole series of small, positive, and consistent habits that over time add up to huge results. So that brings us to the final, most important question. What is the one small change